Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
And I'm Coach Jay.
Back with another episode of the film breakdown series. Timing on this one kind of interesting. We're going to be taking a look at Boo Carter, athlete out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Coach Jay, we were talking about it right before we kind of scheduled what we were going to do. And I was like, man, Boo Carter's going to be visiting this weekend. We can kind of throw this out there on Sunday morning. And then boom, Friday afternoon, it hits. Chad Simmons of On3.com puts his prediction in that Boo Carter is going to land at Tennessee. Steve Wiltfong crystal balled him last year sometime. And, you know, Boo Carter's a guy that's trended towards Tennessee for a long time, but then you kind of have these other schools coming in, your Colorados. But Deion's after everybody. But Miami, Michigan, Ohio State. But it's important, man. It's important to keep these in-state kids home.
Absolutely, yeah. And, hey, look, Boo's, as we're about to find out, a really special athlete. You know, he's got a lot of shake. He's got a ton of speed. I think I've seen 4.39 40 times somewhere. You know, not the biggest kid, but certainly strong. I think I've seen he squats like somewhere in the 465, 475, 480 range, and he got a pretty good bench and cling too. So yeah, good looking kid, and you know, could end up rated a little higher when it's all said and done. And that just kind of keeps up with the evaluation pace that Josh Heupel's been setting with some of these kids. Really good evals coming out of the gate. It's going to be really interesting to see where he actually ends up on the field, right? I know we were talking about it a little as well. Certainly a lot of options, and he's certainly capable of playing many positions.
We're going to get into it. All you guys, old timers around here, you already know the deal. Smash the thumbs up. If you're new, you don't know what this is. The Talkin VAWLS Network is for the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe, click that bell for notifications. I'm just a talking head. I get on the internet, talk into a microphone, I yell and scream and have a good time. Coach Jay coaches a little ball out there on the West Coast, so he's agreed to come in, and we do a little film breakdown series, taking a look at some kids in the class of 24, some kids that are already on campus, and we even do some live streams every now and then, so it's always a good time. But make sure you guys smash that thumbs up, and let's get into it. Boo Carter, again, in-state kid out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, 5'10", 184, 247 Sports. Has him as number 7 in the state of Tennessee, which is interesting. I know On3 has him as high as, I think, 3rd for the state of Tennessee. But again, valuable in-state prospect, listed as an athlete. And again, we'll bury the lead here, Coach Jay, because a lot of talk out there is Boo Carter, if he ends up at Tennessee, is he going to be at running back? Is he going to be at wide receiver? Is he going to be in the secondary? I'll put you on the spot. You've watched the film. Where would you put Boo Carter if it was your decision?
I would certainly give him a look at both, but I think if I were to put it in order, I'd put it at safety, running back, followed by wide receiver. But I mean that the safety and the running back are, man, they're neck and neck, Boogie. I'll tell you, it might just be a matter of which one he picks up mentally better at the next level. It could be that simple with him.
See, for me, when I look at it, I look at it more of what do we need as a football team? What is our priority? Sure. What is our need? And I think you look at that wide receiver room, it's loaded with talent, and more is on the way. I think you've got the potential to land a lot of kids in the same class as Boo Carter that are going to come in and have success at the wide receiver position. Whereas, you know, you mentioned the 40 time. We need some legitimate SEC speed on the back end, and that's been missing in Knoxville for a long time. But let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let me get the highlights pulled up here. We're going to do a little film breakdown. Going to try a different layout this time. See if you guys like this a little bit more. Let us know. We can change it back to the old way. But here we go. Out of the gate, we're going to go through 3 plays at running back, 3 plays at wide receiver, and then 3 plays as a defensive back. Coach Jay, what do we got?
Absolutely. Right out of the gun here, we got a 50 look from the defense. We got twins to the top side of our screen, looking at about 2nd and 5. Wing formation. Boo's lined up in the running back position, just to the right of your quarterback there. We're going to get a little bit of a counter tray look right here. So that's going to be guard pulling, and the motion man, who's going to motion to the bottom of your screen, is going to pull back with the guard. So a lot of defenses know that 80% of the time you motion a direction, it's going to the direction it motions in. And running a little counter to the backside of that can certainly pay dividends. If you want to just maybe run a little bit of this boogie, and if yeah, just run a little bit maybe into that guard pulling, and at about 222-ish, I think we'll catch a nice hit on Boo Carter, maybe a little further than that when the linebacker fills and hits him. And right there pops him just a little bit high, right, guys? That's not knees to nuts right there. That's knees to knees, and definitely not the pad level we want out of a linebacker. And when you hit someone who's strong, like we were talking about, with a solid bench like Boo has, as fast as Boo is, with a good cling like Boo has, you're going to see the result here when Boogie presses play in a second or two. He's going to bust out of that and shoot. He's special after he breaks anything. He's got elite speed, as we mentioned, 4.39 40 time. And let's take a look what he does after he breaks out of this. Just ditches that high hit, takes one on the thigh pad right there, keeps running, and I mean, he's gone, guys. He's just off to the races right there. Little motion, back action, guard pulls, good patient run behind the blocks, skips through, breaks a couple arm tackles across the waist and the thigh, and the rest is history. Once again, just a special kid. Here he's lined up in the slot position. So we started out with twins to the top side of our screen, and Boo Carter is currently in motion on the top side of that screen. He's going to follow the running back on this play. We're going to take a look at what Boo does on this place, but just for fun, Boogie, let's follow this running back on this lead block for just 2 blocks real quick, and then we'll bring it back real quick. Go ahead and go. It's just kind of fun. Nice little. He clips this first kid, falls, and then cleans the second kid. Boo puts a foot in the ground, cuts back, and it's touchdown. Just a nice little secondary action out of Boo right here to bounce outside. Follows that block. Foot in the ground, hard cut, keeps his feet, cuts a second time, leaves the safety and the cornerback in the dust. A lot of speed, a lot of wiggle from this kid.
So we've only watched a couple of plays here as a running back, and what excites me is if he does end up on the offensive side of the ball. And people talk about this with Cam Seldon too. How much as a coach do you want to have a guy that you can move around? Like you got him in the slot, you motion him down into the running back position. Same thing with Seldon. That's what a lot of people want to see versus a true wide receiver, a true running back. How much does that versatility and moving a guy around? And I don't talk about like the old days. I'm trying to think of who it was. One of the wide receivers. It's like every time they come in the game, it's a jet sweep. And I don't remember if it was Butch that did that, and it was exhausting. But when you have a true guy that can play wide receiver and running back, the options it gives you.
Yeah, I feel like we tried to do that with Cordero Patterson a lot, right? Whenever he was in the game, it was a jet sweep. But, just from a coaching standpoint, we talk about how multiple this coaching staff wants to be with the tight end, where they can bring him in tight and pop him out wide and all this kind of thing. Well, you can keep adding layers and dimensions to that when you can do it with a running back to slot wide receiver. I mean, every Vol fan knows how underused Alvin Kamara was in the offense that he played in. And I know every Tennessee fan just licks their lips at what would have happened if he would have played in a Josh Heupel offense.
Oh my gosh.
And certainly that possibility exists with Boo, and it just kind of gives you a little bit of a Swiss Army knife, right, with that player. And hey, we were talking about which position he'd end up at. You make him a running back, he can play two positions in essence, right? So you might get two for the price of one. And I think Heupel likes that kind of thing. But once again, need can be paramount. We'll see how some of these young safeties turn out this year. We'll see how this young secondary starts to grow up. And I'm sure they'll address that need as it comes up.
We got one more play here at running back, and then we're going to move over to
Mm-hmm.
wide receiver and then wrap things up with defensive back. You guys watching, hit the comment section. Let us know what you think. Would you play Boo at running back, wide receiver, or in the secondary? One last play here at running back, Coach.
Yep, we got good old fashioned I formation, right? We got our safeties walk up. We got cover zero on the outsides. We don't got to talk about this one too much. When you bring everyone up like that and you fill all your gaps, it's great and you can stuff people. But if someone gets through that gap on you, it can be good night, sweetheart. And Boo has elite speed. Let's go ahead and take a look at this home run shot. We get a little solo home run shot out of Boo Carter here as the eye in the eye back. And, this play right here, it almost reminds me of Tyon Evans. And he has a little Tyon Evans across the finish line, breaking that finish line at the very end of it there. And you certainly see that 4.39 track speed out of Boo Carter here. I mean, he gets an inch and takes a mile, and that can be really dangerous in Hype's offense as well, as you Tennessee fans know. Moving right along to wide receiver here, we got twins again to the top side of the screen. Boo's going to be the Z in the slot on that top side of the screen. Um, you know, we had an overload. You see, the running back was to the wing side, the short side of the field, and that running back is moving over to the other side because they are overloaded to that wing side. The defense is, and coaches just want a little more synergy there. We see the linebacker on that twin side, the top side of the screen, is breaking out just a little bit to help cover some of that space between the safety and the cornerback. And you can go ahead and run it, Boogie, till we get to about the 4 minutes, 14-second mark, somewhere in there when he's catching this little bubble pass we got going on. Right there, linebacker breaks out, play action, hits the bubble. Now pause. Yeah, there we go. Now see that wide receiver, really smart right here. He's going to pick up that linebacker that popped out because he knows he doesn't want to trap his wide receiver between two players, and he wants to block off or wall off the inside so no one can get out and let Boo make a play in space. And if you can get Boo in space, you're going to get big things. And we can go ahead and take a look at that all the way through the summation of the play. Walls him off, makes a guy miss really easy, cuts a little too much across the face of the football field. We want to make that one cut, get north and south. You cut that heavy across in the SEC, you might just catch a Georgia middle linebacker across the teeth and not be playing anymore after concussion protocol. But certainly at the high school level, he can just Bo Jackson, Tecmo Bowl everyone and be all right with it, and it works. Moving along here, we're going to have a man defense. Boo's in the slot again. I don't know about you guys too, by the way. This whole big dog status whoop thing just doesn't do it for me.
It's so goofy.
Yeah,
Goofy.
it's just kind of awkward to me. I don't know. I feel weird about it, kind of like climbing the rope in gym class or something. I don't know. It's just
Put those
something weird.
dog emojis in the comment section.
Yeah. Drop those dog emojis in the comment section. But Boo's going to be the slot here, and once again, this is a man defense look, and it's out of a nickel here, and we can go ahead and take a look at just a little bit of it, Boogie. Maybe up until the 4:33 mark. Boo's gonna, yeah, right. He takes a step in like he's gonna run a post, and you look at the crowd in the middle of the field and creating confusion and confusing people on patterns that wide receivers are running are a big part of Josh Heupel's offense. Because when you get that confusion, You get your Jalen Hyatts running up the middle of the field wide open against Alabama. Boo fakes that post and then breaks out into the true seam. We can go ahead and take a look at the quarterback, spin it out to him. But you see that safety had good position, got a little confused, and a little confused was all it took. And in the blink of an eye, Boo Carter's running in the open field. And your Dougies, I guess we will say, are running to the end zone. Woof woof here, I suppose. Yeah, just good speed by Boo, and we can keep poking through these things. I know we want to take a look at quite a few plays here.
Yeah, we got one more left here at wide receiver. Then we're going to flip over and take a look at Boo Carter playing a little defensive back. So what do we got here on this last one? Big dog status. Woof woof.
Woof, woof. Yeah, exactly right. We got Boo in the slot at the bottom side of our screen here with a linebacker directly over him, and probably doesn't take a genius to figure out by now when you can get a linebacker lined up over Boo Carter, good things are probably going to happen. Another advantage to have him in the running back position, and when you can split him out into the slot, is you're going to get those mismatches, and Josh Heupel loves his mismatches in the open field. Right here, we're just going to get a little bit of a 7-8 yard out. We can go ahead and take a look at it, Boogie, and just take a look at the touch here of the toe that Boo pulls off on this play. A beautiful job of getting one down in bounds. Rounds out his out pattern a little much. I'd like a little bit of a sharper touch, but man, getting that foot down like that, you're marching towards the end of the game. You got 13 seconds to go march down and score at the end of a half. These are the kind of plays that move the ball down the field and that stop the clock, right? So just crazy athleticism, knowing where you are on a football field, and knowing what to get down is a great job by Boo Carter. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a look at three more plays here coming up in just a second, moving over to the secondary. Again, just a reminder, Boo Carter is the guy that was on campus. Look, we record these ahead of time. This is actually Friday night for us. This video goes up on Sunday morning. Boo Carter was on campus this weekend, Tennessee. I thought we would have the momentum to post this video coming off the visit, but Tennessee seems to have a little momentum going into the visit, which is good. He wants to schedule some official visits. He's going to visit Tennessee officially. He wants to take an official to Ohio State, Oregon, and Michigan. Not sure who's going to get that fifth visit, maybe Miami. I'm curious to see if Dion continues to work some magic there. We'll see how that goes. But those officials are taking place over the summer. So you still got some time here. I feel confident when Chad Simmons puts a prediction in. It's not quite the Steve Wiltfong, Merklinger, the final hour where it's a spoiler alert. Chad Simmons is more just giving you that information, that feel, that vibe. A quote that came from Boo Carter about Tennessee says they're coming really hard for me. The in-state schools want me. The in-state school wants me bad. The staff shows me some love. Tennessee's fan base is crazy, and it is a place I could stay home and play. Says I hear a lot from them, and now they move differently than the other schools. It's just different how they recruit me. The staff treats me like I am their guy, and they want me. This is what's interesting to me as we break down running back versus wide receiver versus defensive back. He says it's the whole staff. Willie Martinez is where it starts. That's the lead recruiter, but it's also Tim Banks. That's the defensive side. It's also Coach Pope, your wide receivers coach, Coach Heupel. They're all calling me. So I wonder if this thing's just wide open and they're telling Boo Carter, hey, you come on campus, we'll see where the best fit is, and we will go from there. But again, several official visits coming over the summer. We'll see what the time frame looks like. Hey, maybe he'll surprise us. And as this video is going up, we've already got the commitment in the bag. But we got a few more plays here on the defensive side of the ball. Coach Jay, let's take it away. 501.
Sure. Yeah, we got trips to the bottom side of our screen here. Boo Carter is actually out of our frame. He's the second safety with too high. Going to get a little bit of confusion out of our wide receivers on this play, and a little bit of a misread by the quarterback, kind of working in synergy towards the defense's favor. Boo Carter, even though a lot of it happens out of frame, I really do know that he does a great job of knowing where that play is ending up on a timed pass play and playing it well. Marcus Gorey, who we broke down, check that one out if you haven't. is really good at that as well. He just kind of reading where the play's going and knowing the timing and pace of it. And if there's any kind of miscommunication that I know everyone sees every week in college football, you're not going to slip that past them. They're going to be in position. They're going to make you pay for it. You don't get a lot of mistakes in our conference, guys. So when they happen, you have to capitalize on them. And this is just an example of that. And we can move pretty quickly through this one. Boogie is a lot of it does happen, a lot of frame, but wanted to show you how well he played that corner route that was developed wrong. And obviously, the second Boo Carter picks off any fat pass, he's going to be a little bit dangerous with that ball in his hand. He doesn't quite get this one to the checkerboard, but good job at least turning the field position around, getting you out across middle of the field, and fighting hard for that extra yard. A lot of these plays aren't in his film, but Boo's got a little violence to him and a little fight in him. He can get in that stick at the 1 yard line and fight for that extra yard, even though he's a smaller back.
You're making me question my life decisions. Here I am selling him as a secondary guy. You throw the first secondary play in, and it's Boo Carter making plays with his feet. Man, he's electric. He is electric. That's why everybody's been talking about him for quite some time. All right, what do we got on this second one?
That's all right, Boogie. We're going to start changing that mind back to the secondary right now. So you are in luck, good sir. We got another wing formation here. Aces on the outside. That's one wide receiver to each side for everyone learning the lingo here. A lot of people like to test you deep here, and certainly when you got one high, anyone plays the old NCAA football 2013, 2014 knows when you get one safety high, you can hot route to seams on both your wide receivers on the outside and hit them with a pretty high tick. The same is true in high school and college football. Boo is that one high behind your three linebackers over the middle of the field. As this play starts to get into its pre-snap, Boo drops back a little bit more, gets a little more depth, and is baiting them a little bit to throw them deep, which I also like. And when you get to the about the 5:31 mark, Boogie, I would say give us another pause and let's take a look at what we're looking at.
Uh-oh, big dog status.
Oh, woof, woof. All right. Drops back just a little pre-snap. I like it after the quarterback changed the play. 5:31. Now, that receiver, even though he's even with the cornerback, the cornerback didn't do a bad job of pinning and wheeling with him, but he's going to end up about a step or two behind him. And if we look at Boo, he's a good 7 to 8 yards wide of that route and tracking a little bit behind it. But the ability to play center field and to get out and, take back a home run, right? To catch a ball over the fence and erase that mistake that someone made, a cornerback who got beat deep, it's just beyond valuable, guys. Like whenever you can erase a mistake as a safety, you are doing your job. You're doing your primary job. Let's take a look at how quickly Boo Carter covers this ground and just completely erases that mistake, and would have picked that ball if his own man didn't run into the ball on that play. Just elite makeup speed out of Boo Carter. And this play, it reminds me a lot of those big pass plays we saw in the Clemson game where people kept getting beat deep and then PI in someone. That was the safety PI in them on makeup help because they didn't have enough speed to get there. And you want to talk about how this team gets there and more elite SEC speed. That's what we're talking about, guys, right there. That right there on that play is exactly what we're talking about. And moving right along, one high again, big dog status, ready to go.
That's
I
going to be
never
a
get
new
over
t-shirt.
that. Yeah, big dog status. Yep. You asked for it, Boo. It's coming. We got aces again. We got wing formation. We're gonna get a zone read play here, and we'll pause it on a fun moment in a second with it, and Boogie will know that minute on the replay. But Uh, this is a zone read where the quarterback keeps the ball and takes off up the middle. And I know Boo is fast and he's speedy and he can cover in space and he can play running back and wide receiver. But can he hit, ladies and gentlemen, is the question. Can he play safety and fill on run plays? And Boogie, why don't you run this one out and let's see if Boo Carter can answer this question for us here. Drops back, covers in space, and just absolutely annihilates him. Forward, 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 knees to nuts, head up, ass down, wrap up, hat on the ball. Amazing. The ball didn't pop out there. Great open field stick. He doesn't make that play, and you got a problem. Just great stuff out of Boo. And go watch his tape, guys. I always say it with a lot of these kids. Go watch their tape. You get a good feel from them. Heck, watch their sophomore tape, their freshman tape, or a game tape, even better, and get a feel. Boo Carter is a special athlete. Going to be interesting to see where he ends up playing, and if we can get him in the boat. It's just going to be a matter of where he fits best and where his mind works best.
Well, he's an exciting player, whether it's on the
Mm-hmm.
offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball. Again, a kid that everybody's been talking about because you got those in-state kids that are that special. And again, On3 has him as number 3. Look, everybody in this fan base wants him in Knoxville. I think he's trending in that direction. Coach Jay mentioned a couple of other film breakdowns that we have done. We've got a playlist on the channel, so go check that out, and you can pick and choose. The live streams are in there, the videos are in there, all that good stuff. We got Jeremiah T-Lander coming your way. Outside of that, not really sure. You guys hit the comment section. Give us your ideas. What do you want? Who do you want us to cover? We're going to be doing a live stream on May the 3rd. I know that's a long way away, but that's when the next live stream is going to be. It's going to be Ricky Gibson versus Jordan Matthews versus Christian Conyer. So make sure you guys come check that one out. It's going to be it for this one. He's Coach Jay. My name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin' VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.